Imagine this, you've been given months to live. You want nothing more than to get out there in the bush and enjoy yourself, to do that big trip around Australia you've always dreamed about. And then someone steals your four-wheel drive.
We're gutted, we're absolutely gutted.
In June this year, Steve Hughes had this exact scenario play out.
What I have is terminal, so it's just a matter of time. So the plan is to just live life to the fullest while I've got it.
When he was diagnosed, Steve and his partner Lynne searched and found the perfect four-wheel drive for their round Australia adventure, a 97 40th anniversary 80 series. They spent 6 months kitting it out and got ready to hit the road. Leaving Darwin, they were 2 weeks into their round Australia trip when they pulled up at Adelaide for Steve to get life-saving chemotherapy. But only hours before their departure, in the middle of the night, some scumbag decides to take off with Steve and Lynne's pride and joy.
Very frustrating to suddenly realise that we're going to have to go through this entire process and the amount of time it's going to take.
We don't have a lot of time either, so every day that we're not on the road is another day wasted.
As every good Aussie knows, a fellow four-wheel driver stuck means we all chip in and do what we can to help. Just when we were wondering what to do, the boys from 4Drive Supercentre gave me a call and told me they wanted to help me buy Steve and Lynne another LandCruiser. Makes sense. 4Drive Supercentre has always been about helping more four-wheel drivers get out in the bush, and that's exactly what they wanted to do here. Not only did 4Drive Supercentre give us money to buy the cruiser, but they also gave us a heap of sensational four-wheel drive gear to start the build-up. The Dominator 12,000 pound winch, the roof rack and the cracking Adventure Kings rooftop tent, the Tigers 11 3 metre awning, the Illuminator 50-inch light bar, the snorkel and heaps more. It makes me proud to know there are companies like 4Drive Supercentre out there that really care about helping four-wheel drivers. Since Steve and Lynne are more than a bit short on time, we've come here to Sydney's Superior Off-Road four-wheel drive, where we hope we can pull this build off in a week.
Rightio, Chris, she's on the hoist, mate. What do you think? What are we going to do to it?
This truck is as stock as they come, short of a bull bar on the front and a rear bar up the back. It's going to take a serious amount of work to get it up to around Australia's standards. Once everyone heard what we were up to, the parts started flying in, and then we got down to the fun part.
Never worked so hard in his life.
Is that working, mate?
Hey.
It's getting dark outside and the 80 series is seriously taking shape. What's happened over the last 24 hours has been a dead set transformation. Underneath, the 2-inch suspension kit from Suspension Stuff. All the good gear from Wholesale Automatics, their extreme valve body, their lock-up switch, their auto temp gauge. Inside, Matt from Hotwire's been doing all the 12-volt gear. The boys have just finished rebuilding all the front hubs. As you can see, the engine bay is now starting to go back together. Jason's putting the rocker cover back, had a little bit of a leaky rocker cover gasket. Just another thing that they won't have to worry about when they're out on the road. So it's been a couple of months work in a couple of days. These guys are doing an incredible mammoth job. I better go back and help them out, eh? So every project has its hiccups, and this one has just taken a bit of a turn for the worse. Lee and Chris are working on the motor. They've ripped the oil filter off to give it a quick oil change. It was almost ready to go. Found some Celastic inside the oil filter. They've decided to rip the sump off and investigate. What they've found is not good.
You need to get on the phone and try and source us an engine, try and get this thing back up on the road.
We were so close, buddy.
And that right there is a serious spanner in the works. A dead engine and only 1 day to go before the deadline. The boys were absolutely gutted, and I have to say I was feeling the same myself. But then I thought, we're doing this for a mate who has been through things we couldn't even imagine. No matter what, we're getting this build finished. Lo and behold, Jason from HM Gem Engines showed up with a refurbished engine to save the day.
Jason from HM Gem has just turned up with the life-saving engine.
We're happy to be involved in the project. Be good to see Steve and Lynne back on the road again and off on their trip.
So it's out with the old and in with the new. guys worked through the night to swap out parts and get the new 1FZ FE engine ready to go. While that was happening, the team kept going with the rest of the accessories. Fueled by nothing but passion for four-wheel drives and dirty, greasy kebabs, the boys ploughed through.
New motor at the 11th hour. These guys pulled an all-nighter. We've been here on Saturday again. This is the moment of truth, seriously. She lives!
Well, there it is, roughly $50,000 worth of parts and labour, and now a serious spit and shine to finish it all off. This is the moment we've all been waiting for. Steve and Lynne, say hello to your new 80 series.
Thanks everybody. Just brilliant.
What a massive job you guys undertook.
I'm pretty lucky here. I've got some solid boys here. You know, Jason's got a real good background. Lee's a diesel mechanic. We all knew it was for a good cause, and everyone had the same goal at the end of the day, and was to finish the car for Steve and Lynne and get them back out on the track. So we were lucky we had some big companies come on board and give us a lot of gear.
You guys have put in probably 150 hours in that week at least, I'd reckon. And you realise the engine's buggered.
Oh, if I had hair, I would have pulled it out. You want a vehicle to be reliable. So I said to Lee, pull the sump off. We know there's still a heap of Celastic, bits of metal, broken plastic in there.
So you guys knew straight away.
You know, we looked straight up at number 5 piston, and we then realised there was a lot of movement in the bearing, and obviously the conrod had come down and broken the squirter.
HM came to the party and gave us a brand new engine.
Yeah.
So even with the brand new engine though, it's not as straightforward as a couple of hours.
Long bear. Yeah, it was just go to town. I think we finished that night about 1 o'clock. It was gut wrenching, but at the same time we thought, you know what, Saturday was the deadline.
Yeah.
We're finishing it. So, you know, business that week stopped. It was all about Steve and Lynne that week.
We want to thank you from the bottom of our hearts. I know everyone else and all the readers will want to do the same. So mate, without you guys, it would never have happened.
Thank you.
What the boys achieved in such a short time was nothing short of a miracle, but none of it could be possible without the help of some very generous mates out there in the four-wheel drive industry who showed their true Aussie spirit. Four-wheel drive Supercentre, who went halves with us on the LandCruiser, donating $8,500 cash, plus the rooftop tent, the roof rack, the Dominator winch, the awning, and all the camping gear. HM, who came out to the rescue with a new engine at the 11th hour. DriveTech 4x4 gave us boxes and boxes of hard parts and servicing gear to get it seriously reliable. An extreme valve body, torque converter lockup kit, and temp gauge thanks to Rocket Rod down at Wholesale Autos. Cooper Tyres came to the party with a set of 5 Discoverer ST Maxes. Suspension Stuff sent down one of their 2-inch flexi kits. The Waco CFX 50 fridge and slide thanks to Dometic Waco Australia. Over $1,000 worth of fishing gear from SHIMANO Australia. Toyota Australia for chucking in 3 scheduled services for Steve and Lynne on their big trip. Polaris for the Butte in-dash GPS, stereo system and reverse camera. The sensational storage drawers up the back courtesy of custom four-wheel drive drawers. Hot Wired Installations had all the 12-volt gear installed in a flash. Sony Action Cam for donating a bunch of great camera gear so Steve and Lynne don't miss a single moment. Bainbridge Technologies for the dual battery controller and 12-volt outlets. All 4x4 spares for making the petrol to LPG conversion possible. A Butte 3G GPS vehicle tracker thanks to Caravan and Car Alarms. All-purpose batteries provided the pair of N70ZZ batteries. Lightforce Australia for setting up their Genesis HID spotties. The in-dash UHF and pair of handheld radios from Oricom UHF CB. The showroom shine is thanks to Sav's Prestige car detailing. The wet seat covers and the tool bags from Oz Adventure 4x4. All the oils and fluids thanks to Atlantic Oil. Nuggetstuff.com for the diff breathers and the custom winch fair lead. And of course, Superior Off-Road 4-Wheel Drive, who not only put in hundreds of man hours, but really put their heart and soul behind this project. Thanks, boys.
I mean, a week ago we were just absolutely in the pits, you know, and then you guys come out and we're just completely gobsmacked. I mean, I've said it before, my whole family went from tears of grief to tears of joy. You guys have just been unbelievable, unbelievable. We can never thank you enough.